This is Mary at the.meri.atelier, and it is Friday night, November 6th. It's Friday night, and the weekend's here. Yay! I hope y'all are going to have a good weekend. This morning, I worked on this little squirrel. He's not done. He's got some work to be done on him. How fun it was. This is going to be my November animal. I'm going to set him aside, though. Let's see if anybody's coming in yet. Samsung's yelling at me to sign in. Hi, folks. Hi, everybody. Hi, Mina. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Ruby. Oh, thank you. Hi, Susan Jarrow and Terry Cleveland and Janet. Hello, hello, hello. Penelope's here. I'm going to set her aside. I thought I'd do something a little different tonight. I used to do this all the time around the holidays. This is a honey vanilla candle. It smells good. Now, I may not leave this on all the time as I get to arting. But let's light the candle. Turn the little lighter off. And put this in a safe place. Yeah. Have a little candle burning right by the water in case I need to douse it fast. Hi, Tanya McGuire. She says she's just popping in to say hi as I'm working tonight. We'll try to pop back in later. Okay, Tanya. Best wishes on when you say you're working, I think you're selling in your market. Selling beads. My camera's a little crooked as usual. Oh, let's see what I can do here. It doesn't show too much in this, but let's see if I can straighten this a little. There. You're here for the ride. Up here on my camera here, it doesn't show this spot that it shows on my desktop. On my tablet. Isn't that interesting? I get a wider view of my desk from my camera. I thought I'd do something a little different tonight because I did a lot of art this morning and I've been doing a lot of art and not chatting so much. I thought I'd chat a little bit more with you guys. Hi, Giovanna. Welcome, welcome. And Mina's here and Susan and Janet and Ruth and Leslie. Hi, Leslie Casey. Welcome, welcome. And Terry Cleveland and Riri and Ruth Lamb. Kathy Arbor. Hi, Kathy. Kathy is our art teacher. That's what she likes to do. We learned that what her passion was last week. Riri says many hellos to all. Hi, Rhonda. Rhonda says, hi, Mary. Pray you're doing well. You know, I'm not out of sorts. I'm just a little tired. I could go lay down and fall right to sleep. I've been like that kind of all week, but you know, I think sometimes the more you sleep, unless you have a legitimate reason, the more you want to sleep, you get a little lazy. Hi, Cheryl. Well, what I thought we'd do tonight is kind of related to FIBSville, and I didn't bring my little crafting cart over. Let me bring my crafting cart over. Oh. This is the little cart that Well, this one that I'm moving is the one that Petals and Dreams sent me. But I also had one that Lucia sent me. And you know what? Right before I went on tonight, of course, I was all set to, well, I came on time, but just about not. I knocked my, what did I knock over? I knocked my little, I shouldn't put it on the edge of the desk, my little whatnot box. I should find another place for it. If I put it over here, it will get knocked off too, but maybe not as much. And then, reaching for that, I knocked my tray of pens over. And trying to, you know, it's like a comedy of errors. Trying to pick up the pens, I knocked my light over. And trying to pick up the light, the base fell off. And I couldn't reach the base, so I had to reach for my my back scratcher, which really is my reacher, because it has this little claw thing, and I can reach things that fall over the cliff. And it just took me 15 minutes, and when my pins fell over, I have a bulldog clip over a pin tray that's hooked to the little cart, and I have it filled with pins. And now I don't know which ones are good and which ones aren't, so we'll have to sort all those out. But I'm not going to do that right away. I'm going to reach for a good one, I think. Yes, right here. Right here. And I'm going to kind of tell a story, but we're going to do a list with this story. So you guys are going to help me. Are you ready for this? And we're going to write it. It's going to be a list. I'm going to finish getting the pen, this plastic off, so I can save that. I've been saving the product tags for tags. You guys just don't want to see my room. It's terrible. All right. So let's get this. I was painting. Let's move my candle. I was painting on my, I got an extra hour this morning because Scrap Chick came on an hour later. So I worked on my snow globes, evening out all the circles. I got 2 sheets of circles evened out. All right. So here we are. And I don't know what you guys are seeing. It's hard for me to tell because I see different things. When I look up there and when I look in here, I see different things. Let's plug this back in or it will time out before I get done tonight. Come on, Flip. Hi, Janice. Hi, Candy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's just put my little candle here. And I'm going to have my put my paper up here and fold this in half. You all know how I like to make lists. And you guys are so helpful to me making lists. And let me reach for a sheet of paper. Hold on. Mary thought she was organized tonight. Ha! Probably needs several sheets. We're going to write on this and then I'll hook it on this. So, we're just going to jump right into this. Little FIBSville, kind of a mystery story. Are you ready for a mystery? Oh, and that's a flat one. That's not one I want. Oh, dear me. Let me get another pen. I want one that you guys can see. That's a fine point. You guys will never be able to see it. I want one that's not a fine point. Here. All right. Oh, here's my other palette knife. Let's get these pens out, or at least one of them. All right. So the story goes, to start out with, is Mary. Let's see, this is going to be kind of like a FIBSville. And I'm just going to put mystery for right now. I might change this, but it's all that's in my head right now. And what it is now we're in the story. We're not in real life. Miss Mary has been going about her weekly routines and whatever she does. You know, she goes to the grocery store. She works in her yard. She goes to the library. What else does she do? Stays home a lot, but goes to the post office, kind of goes into the courthouse, maybe to register her car. But everywhere she goes, now this is the Miss Mary in our FIBSville story. Wherever she goes, she has this sense that there's a person running around FIBSville that she doesn't know. But every time she looks around, she feels like this character is here. But when she looks around, she can't quite catch a glimpse of whomever it is. Things are falling. Things are falling off my cart. That's because I stacked my paper on top of my journal, that's stacked on top of magazines, that's stacked on top of the tag, that's stacked on top of, I think Penelope may have fallen. Jeez. Do you ever do that? Yeah. It's stacked on top of collage paper and wax paper, and Penelope's down the crevice someplace. I'll have to pick her up. But here's the thing. I'm looking to you guys, to you folks that are in my stream tonight, to help me kind of capture this person. So my question is, have you seen this character? Have you seen, I'm just going to put the mystery character. And did you get a chance to talk to him, and can you describe him to me? So, and there's kind of some rules to this. Once we establish a fact about this character, that will become the fact. So the very first time I establish whether this person is a man or a woman or a boy or girl or some other being, that's who it's going to be. We can't come back later and say, it's not a boy, it's a girl, or it's not a man, or it's a woman, because I want it to be streamlined. So I'm asking you. Oh, Cheryl. Okay, here we go. Cheryl says he. So it's a he, Cheryl. Have we established the fact that it's? And I'm going to write your name down here. Cheryl says he has a black coat. So it has to be a man. And so that my question is, it's a man and then he's wearing a black coat. did you get a chance to talk to him, and where did you see him? Now, anybody else can answer if they've seen him too, but once we establish that fact, we can't say that the coat was no longer black. Once he's wearing a black coat, that's going to become his signature overcoat or coat. Rhonda says, yes, he's sitting in my Florida room. I think it's my husband. Oh, how am I going to put that one in there? Rhonda says, it's a possibility he might be my husband. Rhonda, what would your husband be doing other than sitting in your Florida room, which I assume is kind of like a sunroom type thing? What would your husband be doing in FIBSville? So Rhonda says, he might be my husband. Possibility. So what do you think Rhonda's husband might be doing in FIBSville? Okay, and Sharon says he has a large floppy hat. What color of a hat? He's wearing a large floppy hat. And I may miss some of these as we go by. I'm just reading as I'm glancing down. Kathy says he's a person from a twin parallel of another FIBSville. Ooh, do. I don't know the Twilight Zone, but okay. So he may be a parallel person from another FIBSville. Are there other FIBSvilles? Yes, we know there are, but we don't know too much about them because we haven't ventured out of our own FIBSville. That might be a fun thing to do. Maybe a parallel person from another. So, Rhonda, did you marry a parallel person from another FIBSville? We haven't established yet that this might is a big word. We haven't established that it's actually Rhonda's husband from another FIBSville. Would that be Dee Dee's or Kathy Arbor's FIBSville? Another FIBSville. This is our grandmother. She knows it all. Can't be a grandmother. It has to be a grandfather. Because we've established that he's a man. And once we've established a fact, the man cannot be a grandmother. As much as you might like, he has to be a grandfather. Hi, Joyce. Welcome, welcome. Arlene, is Arlene here? Hi, Arlene. Arlene, glad you joined us. We've been thinking about you. Now, if you get tired, you go rest. That's the #1 rule for Arlene. Candy says she saw him in the coffee shop. Has anybody gotten a chance to talk to this man? Kathy saw him in the coffee shop. I wonder what he was ordering. Was he ordering coffee or a latte? Sharon saw him sitting on a park bench. I need to know a little bit more about him, except for I need to know what age he might be. We know he's wearing a black coat and he's got a large floppy hat on. And he might be a parallel person from another FIBSville. I wonder what he's doing in our FIBSville. Huh? Is he spying on us? Oh. Karen saw him sitting on a park bench. Or Sharon did. Rhonda retracted her message. Cheryl says, no, he was hanging across the street in front of the candy store. Okay, so he was in front of the candy store. He went to the coffee shop and he was hanging out across the street. So she didn't get a chance to talk to him. Across the street in front of the candy store. Candy and coffee. I wonder why. He's an imposter. Rhonda said he might be an imposter. Well, what would an imposter be doing in FIBSville, though? Especially if he's from another parallel FIBSville. Joyce said she came in late. That's okay, Joyce. We just kind of started. This is the very first thing we've done. This is as far as we've got. The background to this is Miss Mary has been going about her weekly routines, like going to the grocery store, of course, checking out the TheMeriAtelier, making sure everything's up and on the up and up, making sure our little bandit kitty's okay, going to the post office, going to the library, getting gas in her car, everything, going to the drugstore, everything you normally have to do. But as she walks around, she kind of gets a glimpse of this character, a new character in FIBSville, but she can't, every time she tries to nail him down, he's not there, he just kind of escapes her glances. And so she's asking you guys if you've seen this character and what you can tell me about him. And so far, what we've established is that he was wearing a black coat. Rhonda said he might be my husband. Sharon says he has a large floppy hat on. Kathy said maybe he's a parallel person from another FIBSville, which makes me wonder what he's doing in our FIBSville. Candy says she saw him in the coffee shop. Sharon saw him sitting on a park bench. Sharon Lombard? And Cheryl said he was hanging out across the street in front of the candy store. And Rhonda said he might be an imposter. So I'm wondering if anybody's actually got a chance to talk to this person and what their conversation was. Well, we want to know more about this character running around. Since Rhonda's husband is sitting in her Florida room as a twin or I don't know what a doppelganger is. It's a twin or okay, so Rhonda says her husband is in their Florida room. Rhonda, does your husband have a twin? So Janice, who's very observant, says since Rhonda's husband is sitting in her Florida room, this man cannot be Rhonda's husband because he's running, this guy that we're trying to nail down is running all around FIBSville. So Janice said, can't be Rhonda's husband. So we've established Rhonda, he's off the hook. However, he might be a twin or a twin or a doppelganger. Doppel, D-O-P-P-E-L-G-A-N, Gonger. Oh, wow. You're going to tell us what that means. Hi, Lori. What does he look like, Rhonda? Oh, Arlene, if you need to go rest, you go rest. If you feel sleepy, then you need that rest. We want you here, but we want you healthy and wealthy. He was talking to a lady in a pink dress. Joyce saw him at the bank. Hold on a minute. Joyce saw him at the bank. So he's, why would he be at the bank? So we know he went to the bank, the coffee shop, and on a park bench and in front of the candy store. Lori said, unfortunately, I was close enough to see that he had way too much hair growing out of his nose and ears. He must be elderly. No, that's a good observation, Lori. Lori loves Montana. Said, hair growing out of ears and nose. So he's kind of unkempt out of ears and nose. He might be elderly. So we've established this person might be elderly. Rhonda, is your husband elderly? Or does he have an older brother maybe? Or is his grandfather living? Joyce said, Cheryl, he was not talking to me. Cheryl said he was talking to a lady in a pink dress. Does any one of you wear a pink dress? I wonder who the lady in the pink dress is. Fess up if you have a pink dress. All right. Since I can't write on the back of these papers because my ink pen soaks through, we'll go to the next page. I'm going to number this one number 2. He may be looking for a lost relative. Hi, Lucia. Lucia thinks he may be looking for a lost relative. So did he ask you anything about people living around FIBSville? He may be looking for a lost relative. I wonder who his relative might be. Lori Pink Girly. Hi, Lori Pink Girly. She says she saw him at the newsstand buying a FIBSville Daily, which is the Daily Fibber. So she saw him at newsstand. That would make sense if he's looking for a lost relative. Buying the Daily, we're going to call it the Daily Fibber. That's our newspaper in FIBSville, is the Daily Fibber. So named by Lucia McGill, the Daily Fibber. I just get a kick out of that every time I say it. He had a white beard. Oh, more. He had a white beard that goes with his ear and nose hair. My brother has a white beard. It's not my brother. He had a white beard and he was smoking a pipe. Oh, Lori's very observant. Smoking a pipe. Did anybody get to talk to this fella? Oh, he was asking for directions to the library. So, Lori, did you talk to him? Asking for directions to the library. Maybe to look up some genealogy, possibly? About his lost relative, or maybe to read old newspapers that are on microfiche. Ruth said she saw him at the tour bus. Saw him at tour bus. So we are all seeing this person walking around FIBSville. We're very curious about him. Hi, Betty Joe. He approached me outside the bank and said he was looking for Billy Nickel. Who's Billy Nickel? Betty Joe is the one who actually... Betty Joe. I'm going to write your last name, Betty Joe, just so I can remember it. Said he approached her I don't know who Billy is. Billy Nickel just a made up name, or is that a real person? You don't know who Billy Nickel is. And said he was looking for Billy Nickel. I don't know a Billy Nickel. Does any of you know a Billy Nickel? Billy Nickel. Wait a minute. Nickle. This is really interesting. Who the heck is Billy Nickel? Yeah, Janice, I agree. Sorry, the cat wanted out, Susan said. Might as well take out the trash. Then there are those things I have to put in the drawer. I know, Susan, and it all happens all at once, doesn't it? He has a red notebook in his coat pocket. Wow. Cheryl says he has a red notebook. You guys are very observant. I wonder what he writes in that notebook. So we know that he's looking for Billy Nickel. We know that he went to the library. He was at the newspaper stand. He was in front of the candy store. He sat on a park bench. He was at the tour bus, by the tour bus. He has a red notebook in his coat pocket. And he's looking for Billy Nickel. So does FIBSville have a Billy Nickel? Do we have a Billy Nickel? I don't know a Billy Nickel. Might be in the wrong FIBSville. Maybe Billy Nickel is in the other FIBSville and he lost his way. Maybe he thinks he's in his, and maybe he's confused. Maybe he thinks he's in his own FIBSville and he's trying to figure out who all these strangers are, but he's looking for Billy Nickel. Very interesting. Joy said, Janice, it's going to be a fun night. Lucia says, he saw you going through Tim Holt's Lost Relatives and recognized one of the pictures. Oh. So Lucia said he noticed this must have been one of my streams. He noticed, I'm just put in one of my streams, going through the Lost Relatives. I wonder what I did with those. I do have some pictures out though, going through Lost Relatives. And recognized one of the pictures. Oh. And so he thinks that Billy Nickel might be in FIBSville. Should put Tim Holtz. Mary's twin brother, and he likes making lists too. Mary doesn't have a twin brother. If Mary had a twin brother, I think my other brothers would run for the hills. And he likes making lists too. Well, I'll tell you a fact about my real brother. My real brother has a really sharp memory, probably better than mine. I mean, he remembers stuff that I would forget, you know, like I'll ask him to get something the next time he goes shopping and I forget all about asking him to do it and he comes home with it, you know? So I've noticed that about my real brother, that he remembers stuff, which I appreciate. I'm not going to write down about Mary's twin brother. Let's see. Nina said he has a French accent. How do you know he has a French accent, Nina? Nina says he has a French accent. How do you know? Did you talk to him or did you hear him talk to somebody? Hi, Holly Dalton. Welcome, welcome. Aunt Beck said, I think I saw him mailing a bunch of packages and buying stamps. So Becky says she might have seen him She might have seen him at the post office, or, well, be at the post office. She might have seen him buying. Now, why would he be doing that? Buying, where I lost it. A bunch of packages and stamps. Mailing packages. Wonder what's in those packages. And buying stamps. Is he doing my Happy Mail? Do I have a twin brother who remembers to do my Happy Mail for me? He told the lady in the pink dress that he was looking for his son's leather coat. Oh, leather coat. Son's leather coat. Now, there is a story about a leather coat. Arlene said he told, maybe the lady in the pink dress was Destiny. I wonder, could this guy be related to our Frederick, who was our lead pencil criminal who owned a leather coat? It would have to be his father, but we thought his father was dead. This gets intriguing. All right, Arlene said he told the lady in the pink dress, or it could be unrelated to our leather coat, and maybe he was just looking for his son who owned a leather coat. He was looking, so maybe his son was Billy Nickel. Could Billy Nickel be his son? All right, let's dress. He was looking for his son's leather coat. So he wasn't looking for his son, he was looking for his son's leather coat. So Billy Nickel may not be his son. Maybe Billy Nickel was in last possession of the leather coat. We don't know. There's a lot of possibilities there. Let's go to page 3. Susan said, how'd the kid do today, Holly? Yeah, Holly, how did your son do in the surgery today? Rhonda says, I need to start locking my doors then. Oh, dear. Cheryl says, hi, Holly, I hope all went well. Holly said they just closed him up when the surgeon was running late. Well, we're keeping in him our good thoughts and prayers, Holly. Holly's son went through surgery today. Joyce said he asked me directions to our craft space. I took him to the bookstore. Shoo! Thank you, Joyce. So Joyce said he was asking directions. He was asking directions to our craft. So he was asking directions to our craft space, which is the TheMeriAtelier. Directions, but he doesn't know it's named the TheMeriAtelier. To our craft space. We know it's the TheMeriAtelier. He may not know yet. So she took him to the bookstore. I love it. Good thinking, Joyce. You led him astray. Who runs the bookstore? I'll have to get out that book of that list of occupations, and we'll have to review all that. But not tonight, because it's somewhere behind me. Arlene says, hi, Holly and Aunt Beck. Ruth says, hi, Holly. Hi, Holly, Holly, Holly. They're saying Holly. Hi, Allie Kay. Welcome, welcome. Sharon said, at his feet laying was a husky gray and white dog. So we know he's got a dog. So at his feet was laying a huge gray and white, a husky gray and white dog. Interesting. Janice said, a doppelganger is a spirit that takes on your identity and will try to find a way to take over your life. Ooh, Janice. No wonder I don't know who they are. Supposedly some old Slavic-style ghost story or myth. That's interesting. A doppelganger. Where did I write that down at? I'm going to say a spirit who takes your identity. Rhonda, watch out. Yeah, well, that's why Rhonda said she was going to lock the doors. Maybe he was trying to take over FIBSville, Rhonda says. Rhonda thinks he might be trying to take over FIBSville. Maybe that's why he's avoiding the mayor. Might be plotting to take over FIBSville. Well, maybe because the other FIBSville is going through a decline, or maybe they just need to expand. Why would he want to take over FIBSville? I'm going to put a why there. Why would this doppelganger spirit want to take over our FIBSville? Holly says, closed in 5 minutes ago. It's been a long day. She's talking about her son. Lori says, I saw him at the newsstand buying the Daily FIBSville. He had a full white beard and was asking directions to the library. Yeah, I got that. Let's see. Lori. She said she saw him at the newsstand buying the Daily Fibber. He had a full white beard, smoking a pipe, and asking directions to the library. I got that one, Lori. Cheryl says, no, Sean Connery rats. He knows Sean Connery rats. I don't know what that means, Cheryl. You're going to have to tell me more about the Sean Connery rats. He's middle-aged? Well, if he's middle-aged, he's got nose hair and a full white beard, and if he's middle-aged, we can't... Well, I think we've already established that he might be an older person. So we can't say he's middle-aged. That's one of the rules once we've established a fact. We've established the fact that he's got a white beard. Lori said that. But Lucia said that he's got too much hair growing out. Oh, no, Lori Loves Montana said he's got hair growing out of his ears and nose. He might be elderly. Or... maybe he's middle-aged posing as an elderly man. All right, we're gonna put that possibility. Where was that? Rhonda thinks he might be middle-aged, and we've already said Lori Loves Montana thinks he might be elderly. So we're thinking he might be a middle-aged man posing as an older man. And that's why he's got too much nose and ear hair, because he's a poor makeup artist. Thinks he might be middle-aged. So we think he might be posing as an elderly man. And if he's a doppelganger, he might be a mixed up doppelganger. Oh. Pink is my color, but Joyce says. He wasn't talking to you, huh? You weren't talking to him? You have a stress. Holly, if you need to go rest, you go rest. I hope your headache gets, you've been through a lot. You just go rest if you need to. We're thinking of you and we're thinking of your son. I'm not sure what Cheryl means about Sean Connery rats. Rhonda said you got that right. Janet said, they say if you come face to face with your doppelganger, you might die. Oh, that's the scary ghost part. Oh, this doppelganger thing is creepy. Doppelganger. If you come face to face with him, you might die. Face to face, might die. Yeah, Cheryl says, Holly, take care of yourself. Thank you, Janet. Janet dropped the link to the FIBSville Friends Facebook group. His shirt has a stain on it. Cheryl says his shirt has a stain on it. But he has a coat on, so that stain has to be on the collar or on the sleeve or something. Shirt, or you saw him take off his coat. Cheryl knows his shirt has a stain on it. What kind of a stain? A coffee stain, a chocolate stain, or a blood stain? Arlene says she's going to go rest. Okay, Arlene. Thanks for popping in and saying hello to us. They're telling her to rest well. Susan Gerald says, Holly, usually the surgeon can tell right away if things are good, even if you have to wait for some stuff. They've seen it so much. Betty Joe says it's a made-up. So this is a made-up name. So Billy, he's looking for Billy Nickel. So that's a made-up name. So that's Billy Nickel is a fictitious name. Thank you, Betty Joe. So we know he's not looking, he's looking for a fictitious name in our story. Shoo, because I didn't know who Billy Nickel was. Hi, JL. Welcome, welcome. Now we have another new character, Betty Jo says. Holly said the doctor said it went great and she's optimistic that he can go home tomorrow. That's good news, Holly. That's good news. Everybody's saying, yay, Holly. Wonderful news. Tony at the Daily Fibber said he had toilet paper stuck to his shoe when he left the coffee shop. That's funny. Pink Girly. That's a good one. Said that Tony at the Daily Fibber said he had toilet paper stuck to his shoe. I just get a chuckle over that when he left the coffee shop. Oh, we're getting quite a picture of this guy. A doppelganger, a possible doppelganger who's got toilet paper stuck to his shoe. They're lost. That's why they are lost relatives. Yeah. So the relatives are lost. The relatives are lost. That's why they're called lost relatives. Do you think possibly the doppelganger is looking for a lost relative to take on its identity in order to, oh, we won't say that. We'll go there tonight. In order to vote for new mayor, you FIBSville, to take over FIBSville? Oh no, we won't go there. No TP on the shoe, Cheryl says. Oh, nope, Cheryl can't go back and backtrack it. We've already established with Pink Girly that he's got TP stuck on his shoe. You can't say no now. Once we've established the fact, we can't change it. I just want to know if the TP was clean. Joyce said he's looking for Cheryl's boyfriend. He stole his wine. I don't know. Is Joyce's boyfriend a lost relative? Oh. Mina knows things. What did Mina know? Oh, Mina knew that, I lost it. It's up here. I didn't write Mina's name. Mina says, my Pierre would say in French, get your own. Cheryl, that's funny. Mina says, I heard him talking to someone on his cell phone. I'm kind of deaf, so I couldn't hear what he was saying as he walked by. Ooh. Mina heard him talking to someone on his cell phone. To someone on cell phone as he walked by. So she couldn't hear. She couldn't hear what he was saying. Maybe his son? She was a model in the pink dress, very classy. So Cheryl thinks Cheryl thinks the lady in the pink dress was a model. So we can't say it's Destiny was a model. So, what does this lady in the pink dress, did he know her before? Maybe she's in cahoots with him. Let's go to page 4. Does this story have an ending? Susan said, can't hear the soap opera music right now. Do, do, do. Oh, can't you hear the soap opera music? Yeah. Or da, da, da. Cheryl, yes, Susan, maybe Dark Shadows themes. He had a very suspicious grin. When he smiled, there was a gold tooth that sparkled. Gave me the creeps. Ooh. Lori says, I'm going to put from Montana, M-O-N-T, says he has a suspicious grin. I still think he might be a middle-aged guy posing as an older guy. Maybe that's why he's got that suspicious grin. And when he smiles, he has a gold tooth. Oh, I can just see this guy. Is that gold tooth real or is that a cap? gold, well, you know, well, it'd have to be a false tooth if it's gold, but tooth, it has a gold tooth that sparkles. Creepy. Creepy. Holly says she's lost, so she'll just watch and listen. Well, let's review for Holly, but for everybody else who might have come in on this. How this started is that Meri in FIBSville, the Meri in the FIBSville just has been going about her daily business this week, and she kind of feels this person, but she can't quite nail him down. Every time she turns around to see if somebody's there, they're not there. And so she's asking if any of you have seen this character, and we're trying to establish who he is. And so once we establish a fact about him, that's a fact. We can't change it later. We might alter it a little, such as a middle-aged man posting as an older man, but we can't really say he's an older man yet because we don't know for sure. But what we've gathered here from just talking about him, Cheryl said he's a man wearing a black coat. So she saw him wearing a black coat. Rhonda said he might be my husband in the Florida room. But Janice came back later and said, well, based on if he's running around FIBSville, can't be her husband because her husband's in the Florida room. So we kind of ruled out that it's not Rhonda's husband. You're off the hook, Rhonda's husband. Sharon says he's wearing a large flappy hat. Kathy said maybe he's a parallel person from another FIBSville. Candy saw him in the coffee shop. Sharon saw him sitting on a park bench. Cheryl saw him hanging out across the street in front of the candy store. And Rhonda said he might be an imposter. Janice, here's where she's saying Rhonda's can't be Rhonda's husband, but he might be a twin or a doppelganger who's a spirit who comes along and steals your identity. And if you see him face to face, the scary part that you might die. And Joyce said she saw him at the bank. Lori says he has too much hair growing out of his ears and nose, so she thinks he might be elderly. Cheryl said she saw him talking to a lady in a pink dress. And Lucia thinks he might be looking for a lost relative. And Pink Girlie says, well, she saw him at a newsstand buying a Daily Fibber. He's got a full white beard. He's smoking a pipe and asking for directions to the library. Ruth said that she saw him at the tour bus. So I wonder what he's doing at the bus station. She saw him at the tour bus. So maybe he just got off the tour bus when she saw him. Betty Jo said that he actually approached her and said he was looking for Billy Nickel. And Billy Nickel is a fictitious name. And she later established that. Cheryl says he has a notebook, a red notebook in his coat pocket. And let's see it. Boy, we're nailing this guy down. Lucia said that he noticed, and I put in parentheses in one of my streams, that we were going through Tim Holt's Lost Relatives, and he recognized one of the pictures. Mina says he has a French accent. Becky said she might have seen him mailing packages and buying stamps. Arlene says he told the lady in the pink dress that he was looking for his son's leather coat. Joyce said he was asking directions to our craft space, so she took him to the bookstore. Sharon said that at his feet was a husky gray and white dog. Rhonda said he might be plotting to take over FIBSville, which makes you wonder why. And Rhonda also said he might, Rhonda didn't say that. Rhonda thinks he might be middle-aged, and Lori from Montana thinks he might be an elderly man, so Mary thinks he might be a middle-aged man posing as an elderly man. Cheryl says his shirt has a stain on it. Pink Girlie says Tony at the Daily Fibber said that he had toilet paper stuck on his shoe when he left the coffee shop. Mina said she heard him talking to someone on a cell phone, but she couldn't hear what he was saying. And Cheryl said the lady in the pink dress was a model. And the last one I have here, Lori said that he has a suspicious grin when he smiles. He has a gold tooth that sparkles, and that's really creepy. Gives her the creeps. He gives me the creeps because, or me as the Meri in FIBSville, gives me the creeps because every time I turn around to get a glance at him, he's not there anymore. Which means he might be avoiding me. Why? Because he's plotting to take over FIBSville? He's from another FIBSville in a parallel universe, and he's a doppelganger? I don't know. All right. So there we go, Holly. There's the facts that we've gathered on him. Allie K says he did look kind of creepy. I was glad when he left the newspaper building. So Allie K said he looked creepy. So we're establishing that he's not, he makes you uncomfortable when you're around him. So she was glad he left the newspaper building. We've got a mystery character here for sure. Speak up if you run the bookstore, Joyce says. Susan said, I do get lost in the story. There's no pictures. And we're kind of trying to establish a picture of him. We know he's got a gray and white dog at his feet. We know he's got a black coat with a red notebook. And he's looking for Billy Nickel, his son's leather coat. Now, is Billy Nickel his son, or does Billy Nickel have his son's leather coat? We don't know. Or is Billy Nickel a lost relative? He wore army brown boots. Sharon L says he wore. Now remember, Frederick was in the army. He had PTSD. Our lead pencil criminal has post-traumatic stress disorder. So he was in the army. He wore army brown boots. That might be a clue. Coming in late didn't help, Holly says. Aunt Beck says, I thought we all have a doppelganger. Someone else that looks exactly like us. I've often had people say that they know somebody who looks like me. And I just say, that poor person. I wonder how they've aged. I wonder how they aged. I wonder if they have white hair. That's what I thought as well, Becky. I didn't know. I've never heard of doppelganger before, so you guys are probably right. Maybe we all have one. I prefer to think I have a guardian angel. Maybe my guardian angel takes care of hides my doppelganger for me. Don't you go near her. You leave her alone. Spirits can go through doors. Locking them won't help. Cheryl tells Holly to rest. Oh, he's no Sean. Oh, he's no Sean. Cheryl says he's no Sean Connery. He is no, and that's why you said rats, huh? He is no Sean Connery. Rats. Oh, you got Pierre, Cheryl. Close your eyes, Holly. Just listen. Cheryl says. Susan says, we lived with ghosts for a year. That was fun. Not. Cheryl says, oh, just remember, he had a gold ring on his index finger. Oh, so he has a gold ring on his index finger. Does he fiddle with that gold ring like he's nervous? He has an index ring. He has a gold ring on his index finger. Index finger would be this one, right? Or this one. Which one is your index? The one by the thumb or the one by the little finger? I forget. I don't pay attention. They're saying hello. Joyce says, wine. Susan says, of all the people who are on the planet, and there's just so many different ways to make a face, stands to reason that our couple alike. Yeah, that's true, Susan. I think so. Susan says, I'll be there in a minute, Joyce. Talking about wine. And they're saying hello to Mina Arizina. I love the names Lori comes up with. And pomegranate. Pomegranate. Lori Popori. Joyce says we can track him around town by the teepee. He lives at their old teepee. Who said that? Joyce. Says we can track him around town by the trails of teepee. That's funny. Holly says, I had to stick my skate at a roller rink. I skate in style. I had to stuck my skate at a roller rink. I skate in style. Oh, I had to stick toilet paper in my skate at the roller rink. Because I skate in style. Oh, because you have toilet paper stuck in your skate at the roller rink. I haven't been roller skating since probably my junior year in college. And I have no desire to go roller skating. Bandit will be watching that teepee, Cheryl says. So Bandit will be watching for... Bandit is our little kitty, our little mascot kitty. Will be watching that teepee. So Bandit catches on fast. Oh, Cheryl, yeah, Cheryl said that. The book he wanted at the library was checked out. Oh, well, I wonder what book it was. Do you know what book it was? Book at library, and who had it checked out? Does he know? So we wonder what book and who had it. The embarrassing was funny. We talking about TP and the roller skate. He had skate streamers. Holly had skate streamers. Pate Gurley said, Mrs. Eagle Eye saw TP on the sidewalk on the way to the graveyard. Whoa! So Paint Girly. I'm calling you Paint Girly, Lori, to differentiate you from Lori Loves Montana. Paint Girly says, Mrs. Eagle Eye. Mrs. Eagle Eye. Saw TP on the sidewalk on the way to the graveyard. That's creepy. Maybe he was checking out the tombstones. Or maybe he was going home. Do, 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 do. Joyce said, hopefully he doesn't know who has the book. So this is in question. Does he know who has that book? Maybe whoever has the book forgot to turn it in. Hi, Lisa, my eclectic life. Lisa, I want to do your heirloom sometime. I just haven't had time to get back to it. They're saying hello to Lisa. Janice says, you know what they call the archives of past issues in the basement of the newspaper? The morgue. Has he been there to look at old papers? Ooh. Janice says, old newspaper archives are called the morgue. Has he been to the newspaper? Well, Lori said she saw him at the newspaper stand. Is that what she said? Asking for directions to the library. And he was buying the Daily Fibber. So he's buying a current issue, but maybe he was just getting acquainted with what the newspaper was. So when he went to the library, to the morgue, are called the morgue. Ooh. Has he been to the library? We know he asked directions, but who's the librarian? I'll have to hunt out that list of lists. It's over here someplace. All right, we are on page number 5. What she means, try as hard as she could. She couldn't eavesdrop well. You're talking about Nina? Lori says, you're on a TP road tonight, Lori. Light bulb, pun intended. TP road. We see you, Allie K. Cheryl says, oh no, not the graveyard. Lisa says, hi, Ruth, Lori, Sharon. They're saying hi. Type it again, Allie. Allie K keeps retracting her message. Retype it, Allie. She said some might be missed. Allie, but looked back at 8:01 and there isn't one from you. I'll look again. Maybe it's too long for YouTube. She's getting there now. Sorry, Allie, will not go back that far. I type it again. Oh, here it is. Okay. Allie K says, okay, Allie, I got there. Allie K says, I talked to him when he came into the newspaper office. So we know he went to the newspaper office, but we haven't established that he's been at the library yet. Or was that the newspaper office? Did I put the library or the newspaper office? At the morgue. Let me go back to Janice's. Has he been there to look at the basement of the newspaper? Has he been to the newspaper office? See, I missed that. Newspaper office. Oh, I'll put basement. That's where the morgue is. All right. I got that. Now let's go back to Allie K. Said she talked to him when he came to the newspaper. Okay, she talked to him when he came to the newspaper. I'm writing as fast as I can. Office. He asked how much an ad costs. Oh, he wants to place an ad. How much an ad cost? I told him. He left without placing the ad. He left without placing an ad. I confirmed that he sounded sort of French, so she confirms that he sounded French. He sounded French. Sort of French. How do French sound? I'm going to have to go listen to some French. He was creepy. I was glad when he left. He was creepy. Made her glad when he left. So he makes people very uncomfortable, doesn't he? Susan's, yep, none of that is above, Allie. You know at the end of your sentence is a gray colored letters if it doesn't print that. Okay, we got it though, Allie. He could be a French Canadian or even from Louisiana. So Susan says maybe French Canadian. Got any Canadians in here, Ruth Lamb? Or from Louisiana? Anybody from Louisiana in here? I'm there now, Cheryl. She's not cut up this far either. Chef Ramsay was in LA. He tried many things. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Cheryl. Hi, Norma. Holly says he has a slight limp and a scar in the back of his hand. Ooh. Holly says he walks with a slight limp and a scar. I wonder how he got that scar on back of his hand. You guys getting a good picture of this guy? Susan says, I have a slight limp and scars on my hand. Is he looking for you, Susan? She said it wasn't me. Hi, Sus. Welcome, Sus. Are you sure, Susan? Maybe it's your doppelganger, Susan. Cheryl says, when he turned his back, he has a strange gold emblem right on his shoulder blade. So, on his black coat, may you mean? Cheryl, how do you know he's got a gold emblem on his shoulder blade? Do you mean on the coat? Or did you see him without his shirt on? Cheryl. When he turned his back. When did you see him without his shirt on, Cheryl? He has a strange gold emblem. Cheryl knows something about him we don't. Cheryl, fess up. Tell us how you know. Right on the right shoulder blade. Cheryl's going to get herself into trouble. He has on old worn army boots. Yeah, we got the old worn army boots. He wore army brown boots. So they're old and worn. That might be a part of his costume, though. I still think he's a young man posing as an old man. It can't be Frederick's father because he died. He died and left the building. He died without deeding the TheMeriAtelier, the general store building, to his sons. So there's no deed. We established that long ago, so it can't be Frederick's father. Unless it's Frederick's father's doppelganger. How did Frederick's father die? Maybe that middle-aged guy is posing as a doppelganger, trying to get a hold of the deed to the general store. Interesting. We haven't established that right. On his coat, she says. Okay. Gold emblem we'll put on his coat. We'll let you off the hook. So on the right shoulder of his coat, toward the back, he's got this strange gold emblem. A gold emblem. What kind of a coat? We know it's a black coat, but is it black leather or is it an old worn black suit coat, wool coat? Is it a overcoat or a suit jacket or just a regular everyday jacket? Interesting. Can the cats testify to that? Susan says, I'm sure I was home alone watching the cats. Betty Jo says, can the cats testify to that? You will see the older twins, they both age exactly the same. So it's really written in your DNA. Interesting, Susan. Betty, they better, or no more ear scratches for them. Susan, that's funny. Pointer finger number 2. By the thumb. Pointer. I'm not sure what we're talking about. Pointer. Sergeant Jones from FIBSville PD was called to investigate an odd object at the graveyard. Well, Pink Girly, we're going to substitute Sergeant Jones for Officer Orville, because Officer Orville is our FIBSville police officer. So I'm going to substitute your Sergeant Jones for Officer Orville. I hope you don't mind. From the FIBSville PD. From FIBSville. Whoops. Was called to investigate an odd object. So the police department is kind of gotten hints that there's some character walking around too, called an odd to investigate an odd object at Graveyard in Smith Street. Oh, Graveyard in Smith Street in FIBSville. On inspection, it was a white beard. Somebody lost his white beard. Interesting, Pink Girly. It was a white beard. Susan says, medically, fingers are counted beginning with the pointer finger is the index finger, you guys are saying. That's what I thought. I thought this was the index finger. Medically, fingers are counted beginning with the thumb as 1, and the greater toe is 1. Oh, the thumb is 1, so the index finger is 2. 3, oh, well, that would be the 3rd finger. 4th finger, and your little finger is your 5th finger. This finger is called the ring finger. We know what that finger is. This is the index finger, this is the thumb, and this is the little finger. All right, thank you for educating me. They're saying hello to Norma. Lori said, did the white beard contain bits pieces of used toilet paper. Lori Montana wants to know if Whitebeard, had bits of and pieces of toilet paper in it. Now, why would a beard have bits and pieces of toilet paper in it? All right, we're ready for page number 6. Betty says, maybe Billy Nickel checked out the book. Oh, this is getting interesting. So Betty Jo thinks maybe Billy Nickel checked out the book. That's interesting. So what's that book, I wonder? Joyce, was it Joyce who went to the bookstore? Do you know the name of the book? Why would they both be after that book? And now maybe that's why this character is looking for Billy Nickel, because he really wants the book. Maybe it has something to do with that leather coat, too. Huh. The book was Tale of Buried Treasures in FIBSville. Okay, that answered that. Janet said the book was Tales of Buried Treasure. Oh, maybe that's why there's TP paper leading to the graveyard or the morgue. Maybe they buried the treasure in the basement of the newspaper office. or maybe he thought the morgue was the morgue at the newspaper office. Maybe he's just checking it all out. I don't know. Tales of Buried Treasure. I wonder who the author was of that. I didn't know FIBSville had any buried treasure. This is intriguing. Or maybe the buried treasure is really a time capsule. I don't know. Joyce says, Lori, that's gross. Lori says, hi, little Joyce. I know. I love being gross. Janet says, could Billy Nickel have been Billy the Kid in the long ago history of FIBSville? Hid treasure when he was running from the law. Janice, could Billy Nickel, or maybe Billy Nickel is Billy the Kid's doppelganger. You know, wasn't there a legend that Billy the Kid really didn't die and that he lived to old age? Maybe the character that lived to old age was the doppelganger. I don't know. Could Billy Nickel really have been Billy the Kid in FIBSville? Billy the Kid of FIBSville. And he hid the treasure from the law. And where would he hide that treasure? Buried treasure. Oh, they're liking that idea. Janice and Betty Jo likes that, Janice. He's looking for one of our fibbers. Joyce said, he's looking at, gets creepy. He's looking for one of our fibbers. He's looking for one of, all right, who has the treasure that he's looking for? Do one of you guys have the treasure? Somebody have treasure in their stash? Or maybe you've given a hint that there might be treasure in the stash. Maybe you accidentally left a map in that book. Maybe you checked out that book prior to Billy the Nickel, and you accidentally left a map in the book. We got to straighten this one out. Holly says he left without placing an ad because he had to go wee-wee. Oh, Holly, do I write that one down? Well, he did have TP hanging from his shoe. Did he ask directions to the man's room? Holly, do I write that down? He left without placing ad. We'll leave it to your imagination. But he asked for directions to the man's room. But we'll leave the rest to Holly's imagination. And the teepee trail asked for where man's room was. There, we'll leave the rest to Holly's imagination. Yes, more teepee. Joyce says. You guys, French joke, Holly says. Cheryl said, Holly, I missed that joke. You guys. Long black coat, Cheryl says. Okay, the coat is a long black coat. Let's go back to page 1. Page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the coat was a long black coat. So it's probably a wool. We're going to make it a wool coat. Because it's long and black, it's probably not a leather one. What could have been a leather one? I made it wool for now. A pea coat. He has a bladder problem. Always TP on his boots. All right, we're going to skip some of that. A wool pea coat. PEA. It's black, though. Pointer finger number 2 is the index finger. So 1 and 2. All right, we got that. We're skipping over some of the coat issues here. Ruth said he might be French Acadian if accent sounded like Louisiana. French Canadian sounds more like France. So Ruth thinks he might be French Canadian. Acadian. I don't know what French Acadian is. Gonna have to educate me, Ruth. Might be French Acadian. If sounded like Louisiana. Canadian sounds more French. Canadian sounds more French. That's good information, Ruth. But I don't know what a French Acadian is. What part of the Canada are they from? It's been a long week, Cheryl says. Susan says, Amanda bought canned cat food, so I better feed the kids. They seem semi-dry today. They like it, but they want the canned stuff. Hi, Donna Betts. We're in the middle of describing a character that's running around FIBSville. We really got some good information here. Some countries don't call fingers by their common names, so they have a number for them. That's interesting. Holly, Amazon delivered my order to the wrong address. Oh, no. Around here at Halloween, you get TP Road if you stand still. I wonder if he fell asleep outside and got TP Road. Really? Who would stand still to get TP Road? They refunded my money, but I was upset. They're talking about an Amazon order. Why is the morgue in the bottom of our office building? Creepy. A morgue is in the bottom of the office building because that's where you keep all the old newspaper archives. And they call it the morgue, Janice says. If he's interested in treasure, could the atelier building be hiding a mystery in its walls? It could be. You know, we haven't unlocked those upper rooms yet. Those upper story rooms in that general store building are still locked up. And see, if you think back right at Christmas time, around New Year's, that's when Johnny came over from England and was trying to get us kicked out of the building, remember? And Frederick went off and checked out the genealogy and was saying that Johnny didn't have any right to it. There was no deed to the building passed down to Johnny's father. And they just kind of assumed that because Johnny's father ran the general store, that he owned the building, but he didn't really. And Frederick says, well, because Johnny's father was Frederick's brother. He said, really, that building should belong to me because Johnny's father passed away, but Frederick was the next in line. Well, we really haven't settled who owns the building. I can't remember. I think it's still kind of up in the air. I can't remember what we said about that. But then we kind of got sidetracked, and Johnny and Destiny got engaged. If you guys remember, Johnny and Destiny finally got engaged. And so the whole issue of who owned the building and everything just kind of fell by the wayside because Destiny kind of talked Johnny out of. Johnny wanted to tear down the general store building where the MeriAtelier is and where we're kind of meeting as a group. So when Destiny and Johnny got engaged, that whole story about Johnny wanting to make a 3-story garage parking lot out of it just kind of fell by the wayside. So that really hasn't been pursued much. Then March came along, and we all know what happened in March. So we just hadn't been meeting much because of the social distancing rules. And so between March and, well, we had a FIBSville story not too long ago. I forget what it was all about. I have to even look up my own. We did a list on it. What was the list about? Oh, the craft fair? Well, there's another one too. I have to look up. I forget. I tell these stories and then I forget them. And Arlene, bless her heart, went clear back and researched all the FIBSville stories and sent me all the links. And I have them. I just haven't gotten around to doing anything with them. But anyway, in that general store building, we kind of meet in the lower part as you just come into as you come in, and we kind of just taken over the ground floor. But up above, it was an old general store, kind of a department store, not a wooden, not one that you would see out west. It was kind of like a department store. And it had all these old oak shelves and everything, but it had stairs that went up to kind of like a balcony area. And that balcony area looked like maybe offices, and it had doors and everything, and they were all locked. And we never have really explored those doors. So getting back to this, where Mina says, if he's interested in treasure, could the Atelier building be hiding a mystery in its walls? Is that's why he keeps a sneaky eye on Meri? Or he's a doppelganger wanting to come in and take over FIBSville. Just fill you in on some of the background stories that we've told in the past. So let's go back to Mina. She's thinking maybe if he's interested in treasure, could the Atelier building, and I'm mispronouncing that, but I've always mispronounced it, Atelier building be hiding a mystery in its walls? It could be. Maybe he thinks Meri has a key. Meri doesn't have any keys. All right. Holly says, oh no, Cheryl, can you order it again? Donna says, buried treasure could be in a cave that at high tide is underwater. So Donna thinks that, well, the only high tide that we have in FIBSville is the creek that runs through town. What did we call that? The Stream of Deep Dreams? Donna, you probably went around there, but Donna thinks the buried treasure might be buried in a cave. And I'm going to, well, at high tide, I guess our Stream of Dreams could have high tide underwater. And then I'm going to put at Stream of Dreams. We have, in our FIBSville, Donna, we have a stream running through town that we call the Stream of Dreams. It has little walk bridges over it and everything. We're ready for page 7. I need to get some more paper out. I'm going to have to get all those links together and maybe put them in a playlist that Arlene sent me, and make a playlist so we can go back and review some of the stories that have been told about FIBSville. This is page number 7. Page number 7. Maybe Bandit can suss out the treasure. Mina thinks maybe Bandit can find the treasure. Bandit's pretty good about finding things. Bandit is our little kitty that always brings interesting things to us. Maybe Bandit can find the treasure. Bandit has a way of getting into those locked rooms. We haven't figured that out, how he does that yet. Oh no! Let's not let this man know that Bandit's good at finding treasure, or bandits might be catnapped. Mina, you better keep a sharp eye on that Bandit. Buried treasure could be in a cave. Maybe Bandit can find the treasure. You guys carry on, Betty says. I have to take my meds and go to bed. Good night, Betty. I had a heart attack last week. Oh, Betty. And then on a strict routine. Can't wait to see where this goes. Oh, Betty. You take good care of yourself. Oh, my goodness. We'll be thinking of you, Betty. Aunt Beck said her brain hurts from sorting. I think Aunt Beck had a live stream this afternoon, and I have to go watch it. I saw it on, but I was at the auction. I was buying stuff from Lori. So I'll go back and watch Aunt Beck's live stream. Good night, Betty and Becca, Donna says. We'll be thinking of you, Betty. Well, that was at 9:01, and I'm 9:16, so she's probably in bed by now. Alika says, I checked that book out before. I love treasure hunting shows on TV. So Allie K has checked out the book. Now, why did we wonder? Okay, has checked out the book. But why, Allie K? Did you leave a map in that book, or was there a map in that book that these two would be interested in? We're kind of wondering why those two, both Billy Nickel and we haven't given this guy a name. Has anybody heard him say who he's called? We need a name for this guy. We just called him the man, the man in the black coat. What's his name? Anybody, has he introduced himself to any of you guys? Let's see. Allie says she loves treasure hunting shows. Allie, why do you think they're interested in that book? Is there something special about that book? But it's Lost Treasures, Tales of Lost Treasures in FIBSville. But the map in the cover does not show where the treasure is. Oh, okay. So there is a map on the, there's a map on in the cover, inside cover, does not show where treasure is. Maybe they think by reading that book they'll figure out something. Mina says, one of my grandmother's brothers was murdered one night because he found an old treasure map. They left his body in a park. Didn't take his money, just the map. That was in the early 1900s. Oh, Nina. For true, real? Oh, that's interesting. So your grandmother's brother, what relation would your grandmother's brother be to you? Your granduncle? Grandmother? Would he be a granduncle? Your grandmother's brother, would that be a granduncle? Grandfather, grandmother, granduncle would be, no, granduncle would be, I don't know. That's interesting, Mina. He's leaving to traces. He is leaving to, TP traces. Joyce said he's leaving TP traces. Oh, he is leaving TP traces. That's interesting. Did the cops catch who done it? I don't know. Mina says never did. That's interesting. That is an interesting story. And that's really interesting because I don't even know if my grandmother had a brother. Isn't that interesting? I know she had a husband, but I don't know if she ever had a brother. Would I know if my grandmother on my mother's side had a brother? I don't even think I know that. Isn't that interesting how a lot of us don't know? At least, Mina, you knew that your grandmother had a brother. On both my mother's side and my dad's side, I wouldn't know. Very interesting. I'm going to have to look at that genealogy again on my mother's side. My grandmother really missed him, Mina says. I'll bet she did. Maybe there's a secret tunnel from the morgue to the cave. Donna says. Perhaps a secret tunnel from the morgue to the cave? We need to know this guy's name. I'm way behind you guys. So is the morgue in the newspaper building? Morgue to the cave? Underwater cave. Under the stream of dreams? How close is the newspaper office to the stream? I don't know. We'd have to draw a map of FIBSville. We're getting there. Mina says, oh, I thought a morgue held dead bodies before they get buried, like at the hospital. Yes, they do, Allie Kay. But Janice Glein said before that in newspaper offices where they have the newspaper archives, they call it the morgue because you're going down probably into the basement and all the old news. So they're calling it the morgue. But a morgue is where they hold dead bodies before they get buried. They're saying goodnight to Becky. This morgue is old newspaper. Let's see. Allie K, yes, same old stuff. Allie K says, true, much better, Holly. Janice says, Allie K, yes, that is a morgue, but an archive at the newspaper where the old papers get stored are also called a morgue. The lead pencils, Beth Schuler says. The lead pencils. Is the lead pencils the treasure? Beth Schuler says the lead pencils. Where do those come in at? Is that the treasure? And why would lead pencils be a treasure? Cheryl says the morgue got moved next to the candy shop. They found mysterious green gooey stuff in the old morgue. Oh, you guys are leading me around here. So Cheryl says the morgue got moved to the candy shop because, but this guy didn't know it yet. They found mysterious green gooey in the old morgue. Found mysterious green goo in old morgue. You guys have quite an imagination. Beth, it's a new story. Joyce says, sure, oh my gosh. Holly says, it was just green Holly Ranchers milk. Holly says, no problem. It was just green. Oh, it moved next to the candy shop. Next to. And Holly said it was just green. Oh. Holly Rancher's melting. Oh dear, that's funny. Maybe there was a photo with clues in the old general store. There might have been. Janice thinks there might have been photos with clues in the old general store. You know, those upstairs offices are all locked up. We don't know what's up there. Doesn't that make you want to go explore? Now remember, we're calling it a general store, but it's really like a old, don't think small town like 1,000, but think of a small town, maybe, maybe 12,000 or so. And it's a brick building, and it's more like an old department store than a general store. We're calling it a general store because they sold a lot of stuff besides. It was more like a department store. They sold everything, but it was not a general store like you would see out in Western movies. Jolly. Might have been Jolly Ranchers. Jolly Ranchers. Thank you, Holly. Jolly Ranchers. I know what you mean. I just wrote what you said. Holly Ranchers. Holly got a cup of tea, sweet. Get a cup of tea. Cheryl says, gummy worms melt too. Janice says, gummy worms melt too. Yeah, Jolly Ranchers, green gummy worms and green Jolly Ranchers. Holly said she doesn't like gummy worms. River of Dreams. Mina said it's not the stream of dreams, it's the river of dreams. Excuse me, River of Dreams. Thank you, Mina. Cheryl says she likes Holly Ranchers. A town history type photo of Billy Nickel when he was Billy the Kid before he robbed the banks. Okay. Janice said the photos is a town history. Oh, we've got that. We've got that FIBSville photo album. We might have to find a photo of Billy the Kid to put in there. So maybe they're after the photo of Billy the Kid. Now this is, well, okay. The town photo, town history type photo. I'll bet I can find something. A Billy Nickel. When he was Billy the Kid, when he was Billy the Kid, before robbing banks. We are on to page 8. We haven't named this guy yet. Have you guys? I haven't come up with any names yet. Oh, Jack? How about Jack? Wait. Anyone? Let's see. The book could tell the direction. Who checked out the book? Ooh, wait a minute. Holly said she's not green. Holly, we know you're not green, but you did say Holly Ranchers, so I wrote down what you said. You said green Holly Ranchers. Joyce said the book can tell the directions. Who checked out the book? Well, we know Allie K checked out the book. But who checked out the book before Allie K? So wait a minute. Let's write this down. Joyce says book could tell directions. Who checked out the book? Who checked out book? We know that Allie K checked it out because Allie K said she loves treasure hunting. Holly says she's not green. Mina says, anyone tries to kidnap Bandit, I will have to go through me first. That's what I thought, Mina. I remember what was it when you who was it that you started hitting with the purse because they tried to kidnap Bandit? I remember that. I remember saying and you wouldn't let him near. Was that Frederick? That's in one of my stories. Somebody tried to kidnap Bandit. I think it was Frederick, and you got mad and you started hitting him with your big bag. You wouldn't let Bandit be kidnapped. I think it was Frederick. He didn't want to be captured. I think that's one of my past stories before we caught him. I think we had him cornered and he grabbed onto Bandit and Mina got mad. And she started hitting him with her purse. Ruth says the Acadians were the French that lived in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, parts of northern Maine, in the 1700s. They were expelled by the British. That's all I remember from grade 6 history. Well, that's interesting. Ruth says Acadians. I'm going to have to read more about them. Acadians were the French. Did they go to Louisiana then? The Acadians traveled down to Louisiana? If they were the French that lived in Nova Scotia. And New Brunswick. And parts of northern Maine. They were expelled by the British. Oh, they were expelled from Britain. Interesting. No one touches Bandit in a bad way, Holly says. So not only Mina, Holly will bop him one too. Holly will get him with the Jolly Ranchers. Donna Beth says, how about Jack the Shadow? Donna's calling him Jack. Pink Girlie says the Shadow. The Shadow's more of a nickname. So is it Jack the Shadow? Holly says, Ruth, where were you when I needed good grades? Cheryl says, I only know one name, Pierre. Allie K says, I checked out the book some years ago. Probably checked out lots since. So when Holly checked out that book, it was some years ago. But she remembers the book. So who's checked it out since Allie? Not Holly, Allie K. Jack McCarty. McCarty is Billy the Kid's real last name. Oh, really? Jack McCarty. Billy Kid's real last name. And in FIBSville, he's becoming to be known as the Shadow because every time I turn around, he disappears. He is just the Shadow. Maybe a twin, a great uncle, great granduncle. So your grandmother's brother, let me write this down, grandmother's brother would be your great granduncle. Great grand or just granduncle? Granduncle, great granduncle. Granduncle, great granduncle. Yes, great uncle. Great uncle. Okay, they're saying it's the great uncle. Holly, all I remember is that we have museums and parks around to always remind us. Cheryl says she'll be back to charge her phone. She's got to go charge her phone. Ruth said, that's neat. Allie K says, last time I was down in the morgue, it was a huge mess. Oh. Allie Allie K says the morgue is a mess. Is a mess. It needs serious organizing. Now that could be very true. You know, I got all those newspapers from 1906 and they're starting to rot away on the edges. The edges just crumble away. I still got bits on the floor. Susan says, that's what I say. What imaginations. I'd hate to hear the fibs when you all 10 stories when you get the fibs you told when you were kids. Kid fibs. Kid fibs. And that's not the kids in FIBSville. It would be, kid fibs would be your younger days. Carla says Sears. Yeah, the department store would look like an old Sears building. Yeah, something like that. Hi, Carla. We all invite Mr. McCarty to the atelier Saturday morning to tell him why he's in town. Okay, so Janice thinks we should invite him. We're going to send him a, how are we going to get it? We're going to send him an invite to the atelier. How is he going to get this? Are we just going to publish it or put it on a, tack it to the, attention the Shadow McCarty. McCarty? You are hereby invited to the TheMeriAtelier Saturday morning. To tell us why you're in town. Well, we're going, and our motive is to get him to tell us why he's in town. I like that. We're just going to tack the invite to a poll because I can't get a hold of him. So one of you guys are going to have to get a hold of him. So we're just going to tack it to a poll. Wanted Billy the Kid. Wanted. Billy Nickel. And then we'll put invited to TheMeriAtelier next Saturday at 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock p.m. So we got a wanted poster out on Billy Nickel. Allie knows all about morgues. FIBSville equipment of Sears is not a general store. Yeah, that's true, Mina. Yeah, and Carla. And we'll help him find what he's looking for. Okay. We will help him find what he's looking. Is that Janice saying that? Yeah, Janice. We will help him find what he's looking for. We might have to pick this up next week. What time is it? It's 9:30. We will help him find what he is looking for. Okay, but that means we've got to find a key to those upstairs offices somehow. Who would have that key? Or maybe we have somebody who's, what do they call those crooks who can open locks? Somebody who can pick the lock. A lock picker. Allie knows all about morgues and will help him find what he's looking for. Allie K says, yes, I work at newspapers. Holly says, no lying for me either. Maybe the upstairs, yeah. Donna says, maybe the upstairs has proof of who he is. So he could just be looking for who he is. You know, maybe he's just something innocent, like researching his genealogy and trying to find out more about himself. We don't know. But he is looking for his son's leather jacket. We know that. Carla says hi to all the fibs. To bring him out of the shadows. Oh, I love that. I love that. To bring him out of the shadows. Maybe trim his hair and maybe reveal. I still think he's a young guy posting as an older guy. To bring him out of the shadows. I love that. All right. My mom said she wasn't chasing anyone and you have to come home sooner or later. Allie K says, if there are any strange tunnels in the morgue, I wouldn't know. Too many bookshelves and boxes and the lighting is poor. So Allie K says, there's boxes, too many boxes, and lighting is poor in the morgue. It's a mess down there. It probably smells musty too. Ew. I'm going to put it in musty because I can smell it from here. That's why I have a candle lit that's a, what did they call it? A honey vanilla? The lid is here. I think the lid fell along with Penelope. Allie knows more than she's saying. Yes, Frederick. No, Allie says, I swear I know nothing. But someone said a tunnel from the morgue to the cave. Allie is a suspect. Oh, Allie. Well, maybe Jack McCarty. Maybe Jack McCarty thinks Allie is suspect. Thinks Allie knows something. Allie, you better watch your back. Thinks Allie K knows something. Because she works at the newspaper. So does Janice, as far as that goes. Another treasure, Janice said. The Great Pretender. Joyce. The Great Pretender. I'm not sure what that one would come from. The Great Pretender. Is that Allie K? Guga says about 4,000 Acadians were in Louisiana by the 1800s. 4,000. So maybe this guy is from Louisiana and maybe he's got some Acadian blood in him. 4,000 Acadians in Louisiana by 1800s. That's interesting. Holly did it. Oh, we put a notice in the newspaper, Janice said. All right, this is not a light pole. This is a newspaper. This is the Daily Fibber. Of course, because he reads the Daily Fibber, he's always at the newsstand. So we put, Janice says we put a, sorry, Janice, I missed that. We put a notice in the newspaper. Of course he would see it. We make it a big full-page ad, an invitation, deco art style, with all the, who wants to design the ad? The Daltons are known for robbing, not treasure hunting, Holly says. Oh, you guys. Well, geez, Holly, put it right out there in print. As you can see, we need alibis already. Locksmith. No, I'm thinking of somebody who picks the locks. You know, like a criminal picks the locks. A lock picker locker. Janice says she knows how to pick a lock, but don't we also have a locksmith in town? Do we have a locksmith in FIBSville? I don't know. I'm making my alibi, Holly says, and putting it out there. No one will suspect me because of it. He's looking for one of the fibbers. Yes, he is looking for one of the fibbers. Maybe he's the nephew of Henry McCarty. Henry McCarty. Oh, I'm getting lost. Be careful, Janice. What if Allie K is his blood? Oh, Allie, are you related to any McCartys? True story, Allie says. I opened a vault in a grocery store when I was a kid. Really? Were you supposed to open it? Oh, it's Holly. No, I was just being a kid playing with the dials. It was up by the registers. Holly? Holly knows how to open vaults. Holly knows how to. She learned when she was a kid. Open vaults. We might need you after we get the lock picked. Well, I'm about ready to call an end to this for now. We're going to leave it as a cliffhanger. So we got a cliffhanger here. We got a cliffhanger because I'm getting kind of tired. I think I'm going to call it an early night. I think this has been a wonderful story so far. I might, maybe next week sometime, draw a picture of this guy, or somebody can put an ad in the newspaper, the Daily Fibber. I think this is really an interesting FIBSville story. I think I better staple it together, though. I am kind of really tired. I didn't do much today, but I wore myself out yesterday working in the yard. I did art this morning. I don't feel like doing any art tonight. What? You don't feel like doing art? That's why we did this wonderful story about a FIBSville mystery shadow. Do-do-do-do. Good night, Lisa. Related to the McCartys. Not sure? Allie says. This has really been fun, hasn't it? Lisa says, have a great night. Yeah, Lisa, I'm getting kind of tired too. I want to go, this weekend my goal is to watch Lisa's video on making a heddle loom out of a cardboard box, because I got a really strong cardboard box that I think would work really good for the heddle loom that she's talking about. And I want to try that, because I don't need the real thing for what I have. I don't think. Joy says, feel better. Mary, you are you? I'm just tired. I'm just a little tired, Carla. I'm well. I'm not sick or anything. I'm just kind of worn out from working in the yard yesterday. I'm thirsty. No art. Yeah. I did art today. Where's my squirrel? You were there this morning. We did art today. We need to work on the squirrel, but I don't, there's a time when I just don't feel like doing much. I'll get a good night's rest and we'll work on it more Sunday night on art. We'll work more on this next Friday. We'll revisit the cliffhanger. Maybe I'll make a little video. Maybe I'll make a little video where I review all of this. We'll see. Where I just read all of this back so you guys can listen to everything that we've said. That was a good story. The candle was good story mojo. Yeah, I'm going to blow the candle out before I leave. I can't find the lid to it. It fell when everything over on my little cart. I piled things on top of my art journal, which is not a flat book, and everything slid off. I was going to do a yummy page tonight, but let me tell you, this story was more fun. This story was more fun. So I'm going to let you all go early tonight. Have a really great weekend. Tomorrow's Saturday. And all I know of Saturday is Beth Schuler comes on Saturday night. Tanya McGuire usually comes on 12 noon on Sunday. I'll be on Sunday at 6. And don't forget, next Friday night, I got to get the schedule out. Next Friday night, is it next Friday night already? It's the 13th. It's next Friday night already. We can't continue this story next Friday night. Next Friday night is our hop. I'll get the schedule posted and sent out to everybody in our group. I'll do that this weekend. Next Friday night, we're going to do another live stream hop. It's our second week in the month. Thank you, Cheryl. All right, everybody, I'm going to let you go. Have a really great weekend, and I'll see you Sunday night. Bye.